What's going on, everybody? I'm back. Off the Cliff Show, hosted by 14th Market Podcast Network. A lot has gone on. I haven't been here for about, I think, a week and a half, since the Sixers played the Mavs. But a lot to talk about. Obviously, Tobias Harris. I'm going to give my final thoughts on Tobias Harris because I cannot discuss it anymore. But yeah, Tobias Harris, Maxi coming back from getting concussed and coming back from the concussion. We have an Embiid update. Also, out of the Sixers realm, Eagles signed Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and are still looking into safeties and linebackers to add to the defense. So that should be fun. But what was I about to say? Oh, wait. Oh, without further ado, I didn't know where I was looking for. Yeah, without further ado, here's the intro. All right, like I said, back off the Cliff Show. Been going for, I feel like it's been a really long time. I think I was sick. I came back for like an episode or two, and then like I left again. Life stuff happened, but we back. Sixers, yeah. So where should I start? So the Sixers they've had games versus them. It's been the Mavs, Hornets, Mavs, Hornets, Grizzlies, somebody else, and I think Knicks. I'd forget the schedule, but within that time span, Maxey got concussed, came back last night against the New York Knicks. I guess we can start with Tobias, man. I'm giving my final thoughts on Tobias because at the end of the day, he is what he is. I cannot continue to spend the energy just saying how bad of a player, contract, I don't want to say person, but how bad of a player and a contract he is, man. I can't continue to do it. I can't continue to give my energy to somebody who I know will continue to let us as Sixers fans down. I cannot wait until this contract is up. So last night was probably the absolute worst game I've ever seen him play as a Philadelphia 76er. 2 points on 1 for 6 shooting. And it's not even about the contract anymore. He's not giving effort. He's not even doing the little things anymore. Like there was multiple plays last night where Tobias is jogging up the court. He's not locked in defensively. They're pretty much wasting possessions trying to get him the ball and get him going. And you could just see it, he has no interest in being on this team anymore. You could tell at the trade deadline, he probably thought he would be traded, and then that didn't happen. And now he is just mentally checked out. He had 2 good games versus the Hornets and the Mavericks, which I didn't care about. Like it's the Hornets and the Mavs. Like I don't care. Then he continued to follow that up with more bad games because that's just who Tobias is. You're going to get your highs with Tobias, which are rarely any highs, just like him doing the job that he's supposed to do. And you're going to get your lows. But this season, the lows have been incredibly low. I have been disgusted with what I'm seeing from Tobias Harris. I don't want to continue to spend energy on that anymore. I am tired of watching it. I cannot wait until the contract is up. He led, and I don't want to say he because it's a Sixers thing as well, but there is no reason why Josh Hart is able to out hustle you. And then Josh Hart is a player that does the little things, and that's how he's able to stay on an NBA floor and be in the starting lineup for the Knicks. But last night, Josh Hart had 20 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists. Tobias Harris had 2 points, three rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. He didn't have an offensive rebound last night. Like I said, 1 assist. He took 6 shots. He doesn't want to be out there anymore, bro. And I'm over it. If you don't want to be out there, they have to find a way to I continue to say this. They have to find a way to drastically cut his minutes or bench him. Last night, a reporter asked him, have they thought about benching Tobias Harris? And Nick Nurse said, nope, not yet. But that gives me hope because Doc would have just said no and they acted like we were all crazy for asking him. Am I hitting the, oh. He would have just acted like we were just crazy for asking him that question. But at least Nick Nurse acknowledged it. He said, nope, not yet. And that's obviously probably something coming down from Daryl Morey because you can't really bench Tobias Harris for political reasons. But whatever. Like at this point, if you want to win games, there's no reason why. Well, he's not bringing you anything on the court that one of the players that are on the bench or forwards on the bench fighting for minutes can't bring you. KJ Martin, Ricky Council, who can't get any minutes, and we know why he's not getting any minutes. But KJ Martin, Ricky Council, who else? Who else is fighting for minutes off the bench? But yeah, players like that. Making sure the Eagles don't make a move. All right, but yeah, there's no reason players like that should be benched when they're giving maximum effort and they're giving you more than what Tobias Harris is giving you at this point. It's I don't know, as a leader of this team and someone who is supposed to be the second best player on the court while Joel Embiid is out next to Tyrese Maxey, he's giving you nothing. He is just out there going through the motions, and I can't watch it anymore. If you're not going to play hard, that's one of the things you cannot do when you're on a Philadelphia sports team. If you're not going to play hard, we will hate you. He is reaching Ben Simmons territory of hate that I have for him right now. At least Ben Simmons was a star at one point. Tobias Harris has never been a star. He has never played up to the contract, and he has no interest of playing up to the contract. He is just trying to get his money and leave. And Morey better not bring him back on a vet minimum, because at this point, he is not playing up to any standard that warrants him being a starter in the NBA. And this is on a Sixers team without Joel Embiid. You would think without Joel, he would have more opportunities. He has wasted every opportunity for him to come up big and get this Sixers team wins. I'm so over it, bro. I am so over it. And the fact that Nick Nurse continues to say we just got to get him going, because these are legit questions. Like, what are you going to do with Tobias Harris? And Nick Nurse is just like, we have to get him going. And it's because Morey won't give him the green light to bench him. But every possession they use trying to get Tobias going or get him in rhythm, it's a waste. Last night versus the Knicks, I watched the Sixers get him the ball, and he dribbled the ball for at least 12 seconds of the shot clock, almost got a shot clock violation. And the only reason they did not get a shot clock violation is because he traveled, and they called the travel. It's honestly, it's ridiculous. I'm so over it, bro. Then these are my last final thoughts on Tobias, because I can't do it anymore. 2 points in a game versus the Knicks, the team you just played. What is going there? There's something mentally going on, or like I said, he is just checked out of this city and this team. And if you are checked out, sit on the bench, because there are players that want to play, and they want to play hard for this team, and they want to try to help this team get wins. But I'm not talking about the Bias anymore. Had to drink some water. Pretty long rant. But yeah, going on to the other players, Knicks games last night. So Sixers beat the Knicks on Sunday night in a really gritty, grimy game. The score was really low. I think the Knicks scored 73 points. Let me see. Score was 79-73. Sixers won. So after that game, I was pretty much saying, like, the Sixers are going to have to be this gritty, grimy, focus on defense type of team to win games, because without Joel, the offense is never going to be consistent when you have players like Kelly Oubre, who you have a lot of streaky players, Kelly Oubre, Buddy Hield. I'm not mentioning number 12, Batum, Paul Reed. It's like a lot of you have a lot of players that are just not going to be consistent with the offense that they give you, and they can't really elevate their game. They are a product of kind of Joel Embiid, even though Kelly Oubre has been playing well lately. But you know what you're getting from Kelly Oubre. You know you're going to get a game soon where he shoots 4 for 20, and like, it's whatever. But yeah, so I was saying they're going to have to be this gritty, grimy team that grinds out wins, that really focuses on defense and says, okay, if we're not going to be consistent with scoring, we're going to make sure you don't score, and then we're going to make this game 79-73, and we just going to have to grind out like we back in 2008 or 2001. That's just what it's going to have to be. And I feel like that's the best option for the Sixers right now, to really lock in and focus on defense, knowing that you can't really depend on like an offensive explosion every night. They just don't have the players for it. I mean, they have Tyrese Maxey, but they don't have anyone else that is consistent on that level to where you can depend on it every single night. So they're going to have to just grind out, and like the old Memphis Grizzlies teams from a couple of years ago. They're just going to have to grind out wins. Like I said, really lock in on defense, and just figure it out, because at the rate this is going, they're probably going to be in the play-in. We did get a Joel Embiid update. I will talk about that in a second. But yeah, man, they can win some of these games, man. But like they have this they do this thing where like they showed me they can really lock in and buy in on defense versus the Knicks during that 79-73 win, and then they come out last night versus the Knicks, and it's like they have no interest in playing defense. But and you can show it's just like an effort thing, it's just like a want to be there thing. Like they just checked out last night, and I don't know what and it was defensively, like they just checked out, and I don't know what it was. But if they seriously buy into the defense, because they have shown they are a really good defensive team even without Joel, they can really lock in at points. It's just they have to do it consistently over a 48 minute span of a game, and multiple in what do I want to say? They need to what do I want to say? Oh, they need to string along some of these like really good defensive games to win them games and possibly keep them out of the play-in. So that's just what they're going to have to do to try to stay afloat and hope Joel gets back. Well, take a sip of my water again. I don't be having water when I be talking most of the time, so my mouth be all dry. But yeah, speaking of Joel, we did get an update yesterday after the Sixers told us that we would get an update last week. I don't know why they lied to us, but we finally got one yesterday, and it was from Ramona Shelburne. Ramona Shelburne on NBA Today. Well, Joel Embiid not anywhere close right now to coming back, but he is able to get on the court, do some light work. The hope they have in Philly is that they can just stay in the mix for Joel Embiid to come back the last week or so of the season, and at least wait what? Oh, and at least where he has a chance to get back on conditioning, get back some conditioning for the playoff before the playoffs. The only reason I sound like I couldn't read there is because like I posted on Instagram, the words are kind of stretched. I don't know if y'all can see that on. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So the report basically saying Joel won't be back until the last week of the season, which we all thought he would be back late April or late this. We all thought he would be back late March, and I guess now the plan is end of the season. I'm guessing this is because of how the Sixers have looked without him. They're trying to decide if it's even worth bringing him back so they can like push his time. I think this will be week 5, since he got his surgery and he was supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So I guess they're trying to see where the Sixers land in the seeding to see if they decide if they want to bring him back. At this point, just don't bring him back. Try to play for some type of lottery draft pick. If he's coming back last week of the season just to try to get his conditioning up, and you're thinking you're going to make a run in the playoffs, like I get it, but like at this point, just ride it out. I'm focused on the off season at this point because I just don't believe the Sixers are going to have the continuity to be able to bring Joel back and then make a really deep playoff run. I think he would have to have a longer period of time where he has been back. The Sixers can build continuity. They can figure some things out. I just don't think Nick Nurse is going to be able to implement everything he wants to within a week in time for a playoff series, and it's going to be against one of the top teams because they'll be a 7 or 8 seed. So sit him out. I say, see what you do in the offseason. See what disgruntled star ask out. That's been the plan this entire time. I do not want Paul George because he has shot. Clippers fans are so over Paul George at this point that I did not know about, but they hate him. I don't want him here. He's old. They're probably going to have to sign him to big money. If you can get him for cheap, sure, bring him in. But yeah, I don't want Paul George. Honestly, sit Joel for the rest of the season. I have come to grips with it. Early, if he was going to be back late March, I was fine with that because that gives him a couple weeks to ramp it up. But a week before the season ends, then they're going to have to play in the play-in. Then I think they're going to have like a couple days off or something like that, and they're going to have to play in a high-level playoff series versus one of the top teams, so the Boston, Milwaukee, or let me see the seeding right now. All right, still making sure the Eagles didn't do anything. But let me check the seeding right now for the standing. So Cleveland currently right now is the 3 seed. So if they can get the 6 seed and they match up with Cleveland, you absolutely bring him back because Cleveland is a bunch of frauds. They will get blown out in the playoffs. They would get smacked in the playoff series versus the Sixers. But if they fall into that 7-8 and they have to play Boston or Milwaukee, then Just sit them out. I do believe they can beat Milwaukee and Boston. I think they can beat Boston or Milwaukee in the playoff series, but that's with Joel being like completely healthy and he has been playing and he's conditioned and he has not had just a single week to prepare for the playoffs. But like I said, if they fall into the 6 seed matchup against the Cavs, you absolutely bring him back. You can win a series and then you go from there. Try to do a Cinderella run like the Heat did last season. But what else did I want to talk about? Kelly Oubre has been playing great. But like I said, you know what you're going to get from Kelly. He's going to have these games where last night he had 19 points. Game before that, I believe he had, oh my gosh, where's it at? Oh, Sunday. Sunday he had 18 and 10. And I think he had a good game before that as well. He's had a good stretch of games. They played the Pelicans too, but he had 20 and 7. He's doing a really good job of facilitating the offense, especially with Maxey being out. He's doing a really good job of facilitating offense, being a passer, getting other guys involved, and then looking for his shot a little bit. What I appreciate about Kelly Oubre is that he's going to always go hard to the rim, regardless. It doesn't matter. It's going to always be Kelly Oubre time, and I can appreciate that because I just know what I'm getting here. Of course, he's going to have the nights where he goes 4 for 24 for 21, like whatever, bro. Especially with this iteration of 16. But I know there's going to be also nights where he goes 9 for 18 or 9 for 16 and he's just hooping and he's shooting out of his mind. But I know the shots and what I'm getting from Kelly Oubre, especially what I'll get when Joel Embiid comes back. That's the difference between him and Tobias Harris because I never know what version of Tobias Harris I am getting. And usually it is worse than it is good. So I can't believe I just brought up number 12 again. I am sorry. But everybody else in the Sixers have been playing well. Cam Payne has been playing well. Kyle Lowry, Paul Reed came back off the bench. Mobamba now starts, and Paul Reed off the bench as the disrupting backup center is just kind of like his role, I think, and that's where I think his career is just going to take him as a really good backup center. I've been saying it for a while. He's not a starting center, and that's fine. He's a backup center. We don't have the best player in the NBA who is at his position on the team. So, of course, Paul Reed is going to look like him. The Sixers aren't going to look competent most nights, but that's okay. That's why I said they need to really lock down and lock in on defense and just grind it out. And they'll win games like that, and they could possibly get into the 6th seed. Are they the 6th seed? No, they are currently the 7th seed. They were the 6th seed when they beat the Knicks on Sunday. Yeah, that is pretty much all that I had on the Sixers. Eagles, do you want to talk about them for a minute? Signed Saquon Barkley to a $37 million deal. His cap hit is only almost $400 million for this season. They also signed Bryce Huff, signed CJ Gardner-Johnson. They are still looking into the safety market and the linebacker market. I am expecting them to sign I want them to sign Justin Simmons, but Justin Simmons, Cameron Curl, possibly Jerome Baker at the linebackers position. Josina Anderson said last night that they are very aggressive in looking for a linebacker, and they're going to get one way or another. They're either going to sign one in free agency or they are going to trade for one. So very excited about the Eagles. Saquon, as you all know, is my favorite player. I've been talking about it on Twitter. Favorite player. He's now on my favorite team. So I'm getting a jersey immediately. I don't care. But yeah, man. Also, I wanted to talk about people on Twitter, like these accounts that think they have sources or are trying to play like they have sources, but they just tweet out a bunch of random nothing. Like they'll tweet out the Eagles have interest. So before before Saquon, they'll tweet out the Eagles have interest in Saquon Barkley. Duh, that's been reported for the last 2 weeks. Like we know this. The Eagles are working on a deal to sign Saquon Barkley. Duh. Like we all knew the Eagles are really interested in CJ Gardner-Johnson and are looking for a safety. Duh. But these accounts are tweeting them out like they have sources, and they're like, sources tell me, like, and then they end up with the wrong information, and they try to compile that tweet on top of like, oh, the Eagles have interest in CJ Gardner-Johnson, for example, and then they'll tweet next, nothing is imminent, but the interest is there. The hell? Duh! They need a safety. They need a linebacker. They needed a running back because they lost Swift. Like, yo, we have to stop listening to these accounts that claim they have sources, when they actually don't. What really is they have guys that think they have guys, and they're providing that information. If it's not Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter or a highly credentialed person in the media, do not listen to them. It's cool to get hype because they are our favorite team. So it's cool to get hype off the Eagles have interest in Justin Simmons. Like, it's cool to get hype off of that because we're fans at the end of the day. Like, we just need something to engage with on timeline because the days be boring. It's cool to engage with it, but to actually believe them and take them seriously, please stop. They do not have sources. If it is not Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter, do not believe them. Or a highly credentialed media, do not believe them. They are liars. And that is where I'm going to end it. Off the Cliff Show, like I said, brought to you by 14th Market Podcast Network. Also, winners of the Tyrese Maxey giveaway, your shirt should be arriving soon. Actually, I want to show y'all. So this is the box that it came in. Very special packaging. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not, but yeah, off the cliff, it came. Let me see if I can open it. Little thank you card in there with the shirt. Really dope. So thank you for 14th Market for providing that. The giveaway. I'm going to put out more content. I might put a poll. I don't know if like I want to do post game after like every game or like back to backs. I'll do one episode for a back to back. But I don't know if I want to do like every game or weekly. I still have to ask y'all that. I have to get back into the swing of things and posting more content. But yeah. Oh, make sure I didn't tell you at the beginning of the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe if you are watching the video on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe down below. Like, it is free. It supports me. If you are still listening, make sure you. What was I about to say? Oh, make sure you subscribe, rate the podcast five stars on Spotify and or Apple Music. Apple Podcasts. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I will be back. What is the Sixers play? Let me see. Adam Schefter. No, nothing to do with the Eagles. All right. Sixers next game is what is today? They play the Bucks on Thursday. So great, that's a loss. But yeah, Bucks Thursday. I will do a reaction after that as well. Like I said, trying to see if I should do every game post game. Yeah, like every post game or just do like maybe 2 episodes per week. But we'll figure it out. Appreciate y'all for listening. Go Birds. Sixers is whatever. We are here for Tyrese Maxey at this point.